Well, good evening, everybody. Dr. Stedman, how are you? How are things in Robinson County?
It's been quiet yesterday and today. I've stayed home and I've minded my business and I've enjoyed it. I went to church yesterday morning, but other than that, I have been home.
Yeah. We had a bad storm last night, but other than that,
Yeah.
we had a bad storm that knocked us offline. I told you my power stays on here pretty good. We're on the trunk line that goes to the water jetty in Lake Norman that pulls the water for the city of Charlotte. So they keep our power on here. We got underground utilities, so it only flashed out for a second. So, but it was bad. I had to get out and clean the yard up today.
I do want to shout out to all the students, but especially to those that had me first semester there's two groups in here that had me first semester. So anyway, proud of you.
Yeah. We're getting to the end here.
Well, and some of them were, Dr. Revis had some of them, so I had them too because I was their coach. I graded their work, so.
Yeah, and you had the group
Great.
that I had this summer, the two groups.
A large group.
602
Yes,
and
and I will.
604. And C2 and C4 that are in 605 this summer. I was lucky enough to have them this summer. We had a great time, or I did. I'm not sure they did.
All of these will graduate in December.
Is
that right?
They'll go through the ceremony, and we're going to talk about that. Let me share my screen. That's a good starting point.
Okay. But they'll all finish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Check in. Yep, everything. So welcome everybody to our summer town hall for our legacy students. We don't have any new ones this summer. So I'll share my screen and go to the agenda. I've got the dates. Yeah, this is the one for the evening. And as Dr. Stedman kicked us off this evening, please remember that Gardner-Webb has discontinued summer graduation ceremony or commencement ceremony. You still graduate. If you're in 605, you will still graduate. Now, I'm trying to negotiate that you will graduate on July 31st rather than August 1st. And that's important for licensure and some other things, and applying for applicant pools and those kinds of things. Let me mute everybody. A lot of things. If you don't finish before August 1st, they won't let you get into pools or apply for fall jobs. And so normally what I do is negotiate with the registrar's office to make sure that your diploma is stamped July 31st. But with a new registrar, I haven't got, but I will get that fixed so that y'all finish on July 31st, which is I believe that's a Thursday. The last official day of summer school is I think it's August the 2nd, but we normally try to end you on that Wednesday, so we won't have any paperwork issues. Everybody that's finishing this summer and this fall, let me say that again, everybody finishing this summer, this fall should have already applied for graduation. Now, if you go in and it says for summer, go ahead and fill it out for fall. They'll just roll you over. What I'm trying to avoid is late fees. Now, I don't know. I'm not in the registrar's office. I don't know when but I do know that they charge a late fee And it's about as much as the graduation fee if you're late. So if you're in 605, make sure you've applied for graduation. If you're in 60, if you're in 603 with me this summer, I'm going to finish in the fall, or if you're in 604, I'm going to finish in the fall. Anybody that's going to finish summer and fall, make sure that you've applied for graduation. Now, you'll get a degree evaluation back that says not met. Don't worry about that. That means you haven't graduated yet. That will turn to met once you graduate. So if they send you, when you apply for graduation, your degree evaluation and it says not met, that's normal, because it won't say met until they roll you over and declare you a graduate. That will happen. So don't worry about that. Make sure you have applied. As you know, here are the people who are in 605 with Dr. Stone. Make sure that you know all your things that you're supposed to have done. I've got them all laid out for you here, as I do every semester. And then we've got I think that should be fall 23. Fall 23, 12 months programs. That's with Dr. Sanders, Dr. Tobias, and Dr. Stedman. There's the things that you'll have to do. Please remember that when you complete your competency folio, you have to then upload it into your DRF portfolio. The directions are in your shells, Blackboard shells. But make sure you publish and share the link, especially with prospective employers. But your last step with your DRF portfolio is to upload that competency folio in it for evaluation. And again, there's a short video that I made that's in your class shell on how to upload your competency folio into your DRF portfolio. They're separate. That way you own it and have some control of it, but make sure you understand that. Here are your important dates. The 6 evidences, that would be the APSEL, APTEL, OMA, SCIP, CAP, and SOP. The 6 evidences are due in task stream by 9 a.m. on Monday, July 22nd. We'll give you some flexibility on that, but that should be your deadline. Your second deadline is the following Monday, the 29th, in order to complete that week. And if I can get it worked out where you can graduate on the 31st, there's no ceremony, but we declare you a graduate on the 31st. I need everything done by the 29th so I can certify that. I have to go in each one of your portfolios, all of your coursework, and certify that you're a graduate. It takes me a minute, but that Monday, I'll usually go in and do a quick audit and send you a personal email from me that says, I need this now. So we'll do that. For those of you, I think that should be fall 23 as well. 20-month program, you're with Dr. Caitlin Maraglia this summer. That's what you need to do. Spring 24, 12-month magnet, backspace 4. Y'all are with me this summer, all of the 603s. That's what you've got to do for me. And then the spring 23 master's programs that would be spring 24. I got the date wrong on all of these, didn't I? But that's okay. Y'all are with Dr. Sanders. Now remember, y'all are gonna need to apply for graduation. This group that's with me, you're gonna need to apply for graduation. The only group that won't finish until next spring is with Dr. Caitlin Maraglia. Everybody else needs to apply for graduation. Let me say that again. Only the group with Dr. Caitlin Maraglia don't need to apply for graduation now. Everybody else needs to. Now remember, we have no summer commencement exercise. 605 candidates. And the 604s and the 603s that are everybody that's either going to finish this summer or this fall. We'll do that in December. Dr. Stone will put together a commemoration for you that are finishing this summer. But you're still invited to come to the exercise in December. Now, the good news for December that encompasses both fall and summer graduates, let me look at my calendar right quick, is on Friday, December the 13th will be your day. You can go ahead and write that down. Friday, December 13th will be your day for commencement exercises. We'll do a double that day. We'll do the one for the university, the big one, and then we'll do the one for the College of Ed. We'll do them same day. Now in the spring, we do them one night, then the next day. Good thing about December, we do it all in one day. Now I know that you'll need to be there by 9 o'clock on campus in December, because the first ceremony will be at 10 for the university. Now, the second ceremony will either be, sometime later that day. Don't know when it'll be, 11, 12, 1, 2. I think we went at 5 last year in December, but it will be on campus as well. So you'll need to plan for that, for whatever. That will be released probably as soon as fall semester starts in late August, early September. All right. And I'll pause now before we talk about doctoral programs. Anybody have any questions? Just unmute yourself about applying for graduation. That's everybody except for Dr. Caitlin Maraglia, 603 group will apply for graduation. The 602s from spring, y'all won't apply either, that are with Dr. Sanders. I don't know that I included y'all. They don't normally come, but if they do, if there's any 602s, obviously you don't have to apply for graduation yet. But those that are in 603, 4, or 5 that are graduating summer or fall, that's the news. And those are your dates for summer graduates. Let me look at those again. Make sure that you know your dates. If you're finishing this summer, 22nd, you're at 6 evidences, 29th. Everything needs to be done in your task stream portfolio. Now, a word to the wise. My group from this summer and from this spring, we accelerated so that they could get everything done. I think everybody is in good shape. And the reason we do that is don't forget to do your coursework. Don't put me in the situation where you finished your task stream, but you didn't complete your course because you spent all your time on your task stream stuff and didn't keep up with your 605 stuff or your 60, the stuff that you need to do to finish this summer in 605. So that's why we got ahead on our task stream stuff, so you can make sure that we didn't get to the end of summer and you were okay on task stream and didn't pass your course. So make sure you do that. All right. Any questions on what you need to do this summer? Any questions on not having a commencement ceremony? You will still graduate 605s, but you won't have the ceremony till December. Any questions?
I had a quick question. If we're in South Carolina and we did already take the praxis, do we need to send our scores to you guys as well as the State Department?
No.
Okay.
No, we get a copy. You don't have to do that. That's a good question, Amber. You will get a notice from Miss May, our licensure person. There is a South Carolina verification form. Everything's online. Form B for North Carolina. South Carolina people, you've got to download the South Carolina verification form, and I will fill it out, send it to me, and then I'll get it to Miss May. I have to fill it out. Let's look at one of those right quick. Thank you, for Amber, for reminding me of that. I'll pull one of those up right quick to make sure that we get the right form. You go to the South Carolina Department of Education and go to licensure, and you pull up the verification form. Let's see. I did one this week, as you can see. This is the one that you need. I need it. Service and Leadership Fields Verification, SC Verification for Educational Preparation. I have to have this form. You get it from the South Carolina Department of Public Instruction, South Carolina Department of Education under their licensure section. Let me even go there and show you how to do that. Or we may even send you one of these, and we may just send this one to you because I fill out. But the important part is you've got to fill out the top part. You fill out the top, and I'll do the rest. Now, South Carolina, you're different. North Carolina people, hold your ears. You don't need to hear this. North Carolina does K-12 administrative certification. South Carolina does not. There is a split into two. Either elementary K-5 or secondary 6-12. Where you did your clinical determines which one of these I recommend you for. Now, if you did clinical, if you did a semester of internship at both, just when you send me the form, remind me of that, and I'll recommend you for both. Let me say that again. If you only did your semesters of internship, clinical hours at an elementary school, then I'll just recommend you for elementary. If you only did them in secondary, middle, or high, then I'll just recommend you for secondary. If you took it upon yourself to do both, just let me know, and I'll recommend you for both. And then I'll fill out the rest. I'll get it to Miss May, who will do the bottom part here, and we're golden. But you got to do the top part and let me know which of these that I need to choose, either secondary or elementary. If you don't, I'll just go in task stream and look. But sometimes I miss it on the double. So remind me if you need a double. If you did hours at both, remind me of that, and I'll recommend you for both. But this is, everything for North Carolina is electronic. South Carolina wants this form. We have to actually make this form potable and move it around. But this is the form that I need.
Dr. Land.
Yes.
When will we have to send you this form? Because I'm South Carolina too. I think I sent you an email on this about a week ago.
We don't need it. We don't need it until graduation. You can't submit your forms until you have an official transcript. So send me this form like, the week that you graduate or the week before. And so you'll have it. And then you have to pretty much be done with your clinical hours before I can sign it legitimately. So like the last week of summer, that last week of July, I need it then, and I'll verify it then. And then you can't send it. That's a great question, Tremaine, and thank you for reminding me of that. You can't send it to the South Carolina Department of Education until you can send with it your official transcript. Now, what is an official transcript? It has the stamp on it. I'm going to do a visual here. It has the stamp that says you've graduated on July 31st. So generally, and I'll just go ahead and look at my calendar right now. Generally, you can't send this until you can request a transcript at any time, but for it to have that stamp on it, I would say that it will have that stamp no earlier than August 5th. If I can get them to graduate you the Wednesday the week before, and it may not be, sometime between August 5th and 12th, it will be available. So if you send for one on August 5th and it doesn't have the stamp that says you graduated, the Gardner-Webb seal on it, you'll have to wait and get one that has the stamp seal that says you graduated on July 31st. That's the one you send. They won't license you until you have a stamped official transcript. So sometime that last week of July, send me this form. We'll get it sent through the process, get it back to you. You'll have it in hand. And then when you get your official transcript, at that point, you will be able to apply for your licensure in South Carolina. Great question. North Carolina people, same thing. You've got to upload when you fill out your Form V. It's an online. You've got to upload your official transcript with it. So it's going to be sometime between August 5th and August 12th. It's traditionally been the time when the actual stamped ones come out. And then people say, well, they sent me one, but did it have the stamp on it? Well, no. Well, you can order one any day of the week. But it has to be the official stamped one that says you're done. And we're good to go. If you need a letter, I'm still doing letters. If you need a letter that says you're going to finish this summer so that you can interview for jobs for this fall, send it to me and I will send a good standing letter. I'll also do a combo with a reference on it as well. Again, sometimes districts say you can go ahead and apply if you're going to be done by August 1st. That's why that July 31st, that you can go ahead and apply for August jobs if you're going to be done by July 31st. But they want a letter that says that you're going to finish on August 31st or July 31st. And so what I do is I've got a double letter. The first half is that you're in good standing, you're going to finish on July 31st. The second half is that we recommend you for a job. I do those letters. I'll be glad to send you one. Just email me and say, Dale, I need a letter. I'm applying for jobs. I haven't finished yet. They said they needed a letter that says I'm going to finish before August 1st, and I will shoot that reference letter to you. Let me show you one of those right quick. There's one of your classmates right there. Right here. First half says good standing, finish on July 31st. That fixes that problem that you got to be done by August 1st. That fixes that problem. We'll put the right state on it if you're north of South Carolina. And then the second half is the recommendation from me that says that we recommend you. There it is, right there. This is a letter that I sent. I sent one, 4 days ago. I send them all the time. Be glad to do it. You came through this program to get a job. We'll do all that we can to help you with that. Now, this is thinking way, way down the road. But Dr. Stedman and I have run into this before. It's hard for us to write a letter of reference for you if you've been out of the program for more than 1 year. So even if you're not applying for jobs now, what should you do? You should request a letter now. The university won't let me write one past 2 years. They put a moratorium on that. If you've been out more than 2 years, I can't write a letter for you. And past 1 year, it really stretches us. If you've been out. So even if you say, well, I'm not going to apply till next spring or next fall, whatever. If you need, you're going to need a letter, request your letter now. Don't put us in a situation where we have to tell you no down the road. And we've had to do that, unfortunately. I don't like that. So we'll be glad to write you a letter. It just, it has to be within the time frame. But we'll do everything that we can to help you in that process. To that end, we'll do one last town hall with you this summer. It will be the interviewing town hall. It's already posted. Here's the actual agenda for it. Let me share my screen. I've got it pulled up. We've already got it planned. I've already got the agenda done. It's almost like we do this for a living. Look at there, July 24th at 7 p.m., the second half of your class that night, second half of my class. We'll go over all these dates again to make sure that that's right past. And I always like to wait till right past the first turn-in deadline to remind you. We'll go through all this again, and then we'll do our interviewing town hall right behind it. So that'll be on the 24th. But we'll do our interviewing town hall at that time on how to get through the interviews, the 4 types of interviews. Some of you sat through it before. We'll do it again. That stuff contains, the first level interview process continues to grow and evolve. We all try to keep up with the latest information on that, but we'll do that again. You'll get the same information again, and we'll do it quickly, and then we'll do about 45 minutes on the interview. Now, if you are interested in the doctoral program, get in touch with me or Dr. Stone or Dr. Putnam. Our addresses are on there. Dr. Stone and I are changing roles this summer. I'm going to do EDLS and he's going to do MSA. I'll still be with you though. Don't worry about that piece. But if you want to talk about a doctoral program, talk to one of us first. We'd be glad to talk to you and tell you how it works. The doctoral programs have residency weekends involved in them. And so we'll talk to you about, which one is the right one for you. I've been interim coordinator for DEOL for quite a while. We know about these. We'll hook you up with Dr. Putnam if you're interested in curriculum instruction. Dr. Stone and I will talk to you about EDLS or DEOL. I'll talk to you about DEOL if you're interested in one. Now, They're 2 years full-time coursework. The DEOL is 3 years full-time coursework. And then they all require a dissertation. It's 63 credit hours. It's way too much money, about $40,000. Yeah, I said $40,000, but doctoral programs aren't cheap anywhere. Now, we do offer one deal. We offer one deal. And it took a moving heaven and earth to get this deal. So we have a deal. If you're in 603 with me right now, if you're in 603 with me and you want to go to the doctoral program in the fall, you say, but Dale, I don't finish 605 until the fall. How can I go? I can't go next spring. Nope. If you're in 603 with me right now, we offer a deal where you can skip 605 and go into 730 in the doctoral program in EDLS, in the fall, not the EOL or EDCI. If you want to go straight into the superintendent program, that doctoral program, if you want to go straight from the MSA program into that, you can take 730 in the fall, EDLS 730 rather than MEL 605. You continue with your 698 to finish your portfolio, and at Christmas you graduate from the MSA program, get your license, get your degree as you would normally, but you'll also have finished 730, the first course in the doctoral sequence, which will save you about 7 times 6 is 42, about $5,000. It'll knock about $5,000 off that $40,000. I know that's not much, but $5,000 is money to me. So we have that, we have a deal. If you're in class with me this summer and you want to go to the doctoral program this fall in EDLS, we'll knock $5,000 off the cost. That's about as good a deal as I've heard of. Like, the 40,000 is not a good deal, but the 5,000 off is. All right, I'll stop my share. All right. Questions that you have for me? Everybody knows what their deal is this summer. If you're from 602 and you're with Dr. Sanders this summer, you know what you required to finish the APTEL this summer. If you did it this fall with Dr. Hamilton, then you can choose to do the OMA with Dr. Barnes. She's ready to help you with that if you want to do it, and you can continue to stay ahead. Everybody else, you know what you're doing. The group that I had this summer, I see many of them on there. I was so proud of the group that I had this summer. They all knocked out both of their evidences. They knocked out a third. Some of them even knocked out there's RJ on the screen. RJ knocked out all 4 of his that he had left this summer. He's a lot smarter than he looks, and he's a good rider too. He wore it out this summer. Him and Josh, Linda, I see all these folks that I had this summer, they wore it out. Tanya, I saw Melody a few minutes ago. That was the workingest bunch I ever had, and I loved it. We had a great time. We worked all spring. There's Emmy. Looking at all the rest of these I see on the screen. If I don't see you, there's Jeffrey. Jeffrey knocked all of his out. He wore it out too. Now they didn't just turn in crap either. It was good stuff. There's Danya. She did a great job. We had a great time this spring. We wore it out. I'm not being boastful. If they'd had a better instructor, they'd have really killed it. But the notion here is you got to work that hard this summer too. For those of you who, don't get yourself behind. And the reason why is these clinical hours are a killer now. Trying to pull all these clinical hours that we're having to get nowadays, the 3 semester people used to have to get 240. They have to get 500 now. And so, the reason we accelerated so hard this spring is so that they could work on their clinical hours this summer and still get their coursework done and still finish on time. The more stuff that they throw in front of us, trying to keep us from getting where we need to be, the harder we work. That's just the way it's supposed to be. Michelle, you got a question?
Yeah, you said that we could work ahead on our coursework. Our clinical hours, because we're only supposed to do the 100 for the summer for my group. If I get that 100 right away, can I continue those and apply them to next semester?
Yes.
Okay.
When you get your 100 this summer, cash that one in and start the next one for the fall. We didn't used to let you get started too early, but you know, now that we're having to have a ridiculous number of hours, we're not going to go and say no. If you get your 100, carry them over. I do not want people to get jammed up on their clinical hours. You know, for the 5-semester people, it's just, you know, it's not too bad. They were doing 400 before, but they had 5 semesters to do them. But now everybody having to do 500 hours in 3 semesters, that's a killer. That's 200 hours a semester, 100 in the summertime when nobody's at work. After COVID, you can lay down in the road at school in July, not get run over. There's nobody at school in July. Everybody's all about work-life balance now. That wasn't a thing during my era. I only heard about that recently. Emmy, you got a question?
Yes, sir. For us South Carolina candidates, is there a certain date that we need to have our praxis scores submitted?
By the time that you have your official transcript.
Okay.
By then,
Thank
we'll be good. And so I thank you, Emmy, for reminding me. North Carolina people, you don't have to take the praxis still. South Carolina people, you do.
Can you tell me which practice exam that is? I can't remember.
5412, 5412.
54. Okay, thank you.
5412. Now, I don't worry too much about that. When I say that, I don't mean it's not important, but I'm going to take a moment to boast on our students for a minute. We've never had a student from South Carolina not pass the praxis. Let me say that again. I've never had one. Amber said it was super easy. I hope that was because she learned something in the program, but we've never had one not to pass. I am so proud of that. We're 100%. We're 100% in South Carolina. We've been doing this for a number of years, and our folks, but you know, we cross-walk all your evidences with that. That's, you know, so this summer when I've been sitting on this commission this spring and summer about principal preparation in North Carolina, they're talking about, Letitia said it was easy. There we go. Talking about taking some of the things out that we're doing. And I said, we're not going to take them out because that's where they, you know, our folks can take the praxis. And so, yeah, you can send me, Jeffrey, you can send me the forms in both. We'll do both. We have a lot of people that double dip do that get certified in both. Absolutely. We'll do both. You just fill out Form V, do the online for North Carolina. You send me the form for South Carolina. I'd be glad to do both. You know, your options are out there. Your options are there. But to finish up, our folks do real well on the praxis, and we're proud of that.
Dr. Lamb, I have one other question. If I need to get my CNI specialist licensure, do I have to send a form to you guys too?
CNI requires 5412 praxis.
Okay. Yeah, that's
yeah. You can send it to me, and I'll get it to Julie or get it to the appropriate person. That's a great reminder. And I normally don't have to talk about this to the fall semester. So in the fall, I run a special deal for the CNI candidates. We do a crash course 601, 603, so they can pass the praxis. There is a quirk in the law in North Carolina. Don't ask me why. If you want to get licensed as a curriculum instruction specialist, you have to take the administrative praxis 5412. That's just the rule in North Carolina. And so we have a lot of ladies in the curriculum instruction program, a gentleman every now and then, but mostly it's ladies that go through. The problem is since they didn't have any administrative training along in their EDCI studies, they struggle to pass the praxis 5412, which is the required test for curriculum instruction in North Carolina. Again, it's been that way for 40 years. I know that. You know, I'm married to an EDCI lady. She's sitting right in there 40 years, and she had to take it when she did her curriculum instruction 30-something years ago. Now, I better not say that too loud. She pretends she's not that old. But she did. It's been that way forever. I don't know why. You would have thought after 30 years that they would have developed their own test for curriculum instruction, but they never have. They just use the administrative one. That's a very important point. If you want to do your CNI license, you've got to take the Praxis 5412. Same one we take for administration. Yeah. Yeah. If you live in North Carolina and you want to get licensed in North Carolina, you do not have to take the Praxis yet. Now, North Carolina is going to put an exam back in the fall. None of you people will have to take it because only the people starting in the fall will have to take the new North Carolina exam. It will not be a Praxis. Crazy enough, they're going to do a Pearson product like EdTPA for undergraduates in North Carolina. I thought we were going to do the Praxis, but we're not. They've decided now that we're going to do a Pearson. It's going to be the admin TPA rather than the ed TPA like undergraduates take. But if you have finished one course by August 1st, that's why we're going to declare the semester over by July 31st. If you have completed one course by that time, then you will not have to take the exam in North Carolina. So only the people starting the MSA program in the fall in North Carolina will have to worry about an exit exam like the Praxis, but it won't be the Praxis. Right now, they're going to do that. Now, how long that will last, I don't know. I assume that at some point down the road, we'll probably go back to the Praxis. They're going to find out that this EdTPA, just like we found out with the undergraduates, it's quite comprehensive, and I'm not sure that we'll continue it, but that's what we're going to do for a while. So again, none of you will have in North Carolina will have to worry about an exit exam. You're good. South Carolina Praxis 5412, it's all been crosswalked back to the things that you did during your clinical. We've never had a problem with a person passing that, and if you do, I'll work with you. Doesn't matter. We'll get you through it. If I have to pick you up and carry you, we'll get you through it. Nicole, you got one?
I do, but I can wait for later if you'd like. My question is for South Carolina. I have my first master's in instructional curriculum and technology. Could I get my EDCI?
I don't know in South Carolina if you can get a curriculum instruction specialist. You'd have to talk with the folks there. If you can, we'll help you. You know, we're CAPE. Okay. You know, we know that we have CAPE accreditation, which generally means that we could help you get it. You know, if you came to a place that wasn't CAPE, I don't know, and I don't know if it matters where you if where you got that degree from is not CAPE accredited, it might be a problem, but we might be able to help you with that. Normally, it's the place where you got the degree.
Okay, it was Coker and Hartsville.
Oh, I don't know about them. I don't know if they're CAPE or not. I don't know if they're CAPE accredited or not.
I'll check.
Check.
Thank you.
If we can help you, I'll be glad to. We can talk about it on Tuesday or Wednesday night. I'll be glad to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. It's good to see you tonight. All right, Elizabeth, you got one?
Yes, sir. Just a follow-up question from Jeffrey's question about South Carolina and North Carolina. I'm in South Carolina currently. Is there a need to apply for both North Carolina and South Carolina licensure?
If you think that you might get a job in North Carolina, if you know,
okay.
A lot of our South Carolina people that are close to urban centers apply to come and, you know, for administrative jobs.
So there's not reciprocity between the two states
no,
like there is with teaching license. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
There's no reciprocity, and that's because of retirement, really, is what that's
okay.
about.
Because my undergraduate degrees are in North Carolina and everything transferred over to South Carolina as a teacher standpoint, but no longer does that happen. Okay.
It's exactly right. That's a great point. South Carolina is a lot more open with bringing stuff from North Carolina. North Carolina is not from South Carolina because they won't let you. Our retirement's not potable in North Carolina, so that's why they do that. Because if they brought you in and grandfathered you in or did reciprocal, they'd have to put you on that scale for for retirement, and they won't do that. They
And so,
said.
Dr. Lamb, that form, is it under the North Carolina Department of Education as
It
well?
is. The
Okay.
Department of Instruction, yes, under the
Okay.
licensure section. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Kristen, good to see you. That's another one of my stars from the spring.
Yes, sir. I wanted your opinion on something. So I've already gotten my hours for the summer, but all my hours are in elementary. But I would like to pursue elementary as admin, but I'm just curious if should I try to get hours this summer since I'm already finished in a secondary level?
I would,
Okay.
because a lot of times elementary people, their first job that they can get is in middle school, because nobody wants to
Right.
work in middle school. I'd rather, having been a middle school principal and then a junior high principal, I can tell
Okay.
you right now, I'd walk through hell with a gas can before I'd go back to middle school. And so a lot of elementary people end up getting middle school jobs. But unfortunately, in South Carolina, you got to have secondary. It would make sense to me to use the elementary people, but they don't in South Carolina. So I would do some hours in middle school, because your first administrative job may very well be in middle school.
And so if should I just email you like the name of the principal and then just try to knock some hours out as far
Absolutely.
Okay.
Get you some hours in the middle school. Now, make sure it's the same district you're in.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll do that.
Let me be clear on that. Part of the problem with trying to go to another district is you don't work for them, and they would put you through the same process as hiring an employee, background check, drug test, all that stuff. And it can cost a fortune to do that, about $2,500. But if you do it in the district where you already work, it's not a problem at all. We've had
Dr.
that
Lamb,
snag in the summertime
Chris-
too. Yeah.
Kristen, and anybody else that's thinking about that, now's a good time to go ahead and look at it. With school ending, and they'll have 2 to 3 weeks of summer school.
Yeah.
In most cases, can you help lead the summer school program, and you can knock it out fast.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great reminder. Summer school is wonderful. If they're running summer programs of any kind, man, you can pile the hours up fast on those. Yeah, that's a good thing. And Brenda says that's what she's doing. Absolutely. They'd love to have another person, another set of hands for summer school. Yeah. Elizabeth, back to you.
Yes, I actually, Dr. Steadman, you can ignore my email because I emailed asking about that. Is there a certain amount of hours that needs to be because I've finished my summer hours as well?
I would say 50 to 100. If you can get 50.
Okay. Okay.
Who was that's director of summer school? I missed that one right quick.
It looks like it's Glenda.
Yeah, there you go, Glenda.
Okay.
Great.
So 50 out of the 100 hours, Dr. Lamb? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah, if you could do 50. If you can do 50, and if you can do summer school, shoot, you can knock that out in 2 weeks.
And that's by July, that end date in July?
Yeah, 31st.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Danya, you got one down in Charleston?
Yes, sir, I am. So I am working as a summer school, middle school coordinator. So I'll be getting hours in middle school, but it's just not through my district. It's through another program that I've worked for several
I don't
years.
care as long as they don't send me a bill for $2,500.
Okay, perfect. They will not. Okay, awesome.
I don't want to have to find $2,500 to put you through the vetting process to get you in. If you're already in,
don't you worry.
Perfect.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Amber, you got one?
She kind of answered mine. I'm starting a new job as an instructional coach at a charter school. So it was a similar question whether I could do some of my K through 5th grade hours there. So
yep, as long as I don't have to go through the process of getting you in. Yes. If you can work out a deal on your own, or if you're changing jobs like Andrew, that's a perfect time to do that. Or like Danya, you're doing something for another one. It's just that getting that vetting done is very expensive. And sometimes districts want us to foot the bill on that, and I don't have a budget to do that. Tia, you got one?
Yeah, so with that, so I'm at a middle school right now, but I do have I know some elementary schools that I can complete some of those hours in. Do I need to fill out a new form for site supervisor for my summer hours if I do it at an elementary school?
It wouldn't be a bad idea. That's a good point, Tia. You know, we got it
Okay.
fixed where it's real easy, where you can document that. So if anybody ever had a question. So to Tia's point, and thank you for reminding me of that. Let me share my screen right
Thank
quick. If you go, as you know, to Web Connect, okay, I'm gonna sign back in. Here on Launchpad under Web Connect, where it says maintain information, just click on it and down near the bottom. Next to the bottom, update site supervisor. This form will work for you. Just fill it out. It won't change a thing, but we'll have it documented that you were going to do this. And so it says right here, MA executive leader, that would be you. And this is an official document that, so if anybody ever questions that you got your hours, that we've got it documented right here. I had them put this form in for us for this exact purpose. Yep, just go to the Launchpad. I've already got it already freight trained, and it'll automatically, and it will update this list right here in Ripplestone and Crystal Report. It'll update it. We'll have it. And then when you go back to your normal assignment, if you go back to your normal assignment in the fall, you just go back in and change it back where it was. And we've got both of those. We got both of those on record. Make easy peasy. You know, I've only ever been asked for that one time, but there was one time. And that was because of a principal change. And you never know. Nowadays, you never know. If you're changing jobs in the fall, yep, when fall rolls around, you just document that. If you're changing jobs or if you get a new principal in the fall, you just use that to document it. We make it as easy as possible. What I don't ever want to happen is you come to the end of your program and there's some question about you got your hours or not, or you know where you got them for licensure. Then I have to get out on the road and try to go twist arms or beg or do whatever. Not that I'm above doing that. I don't like to have to do that. You know, I like to have the documentation. Again, you got in to get out and get a job. Licensure required to get a job. We make sure that we don't have glitches. If you know, we plan ahead if we can. You know me, hope's not a plan. We have a plan. All right, Glenda, there's one of my stars.
I've got a new principal starting right as we're finishing up. So should I change the site supervisor for mine? So she'll probably be signing off on my summer hours.
If she has to sign off on your summer hours, I would. If she doesn't, don't. If you can get your other principal to sign before they leave, if you can get them done or get them to sign, don't worry. But yes, if you're going to have to get a new signature, I would change the form.
Okay, I'll just hunt him down.
Because I know, you know, some principals won't come back from vacation. And some of them are going to retire right now that aren't even planning to retire. But once they're off for 2 or 3 weeks this summer, some of them will decide not to come back.
He's moving up to the district office, so I should be able to find him.
Yeah, you'll be able to find him then. He won't be able to hide. He'll try if he's in the central office, but you'll be able to find him.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And that's a reminder. A lot of coming and going, to and froing in the summertime with administrative positions, principals changing, you know, y'all changing. That form there is what saves us if there's ever a question down the road. We've got it documented. So that's why I had it put in on Launchpad so that we wouldn't get in trouble. You know, I don't want to have to go and back in the old days, you've heard the story about George. I had to go down to Williams Township below Whiteville to try to twist the arm to get somebody to sign off on his licensure. We don't like having to try to do that. We don't want there to be we want you to get a clear license and get it quickly, because, you know, the right job doesn't come along every time. If you got a chance at the right job, we need to take it and get that job. Dr. Stone, thank you for being with us tonight. You got anything you want to say? This is a good group. And unfortunately, most of them are going to be gone when you inherit them in the fall.
I know it. I hate that too, because I keep hearing you bragging on them. So
Gosh.
I look forward to working with you. If I can ever help you with anything, I'm still kind of 1 foot in the EDLS program, the doctoral program. Be glad to talk to you about that. And certainly my 605, looking forward to a great semester.
Yeah. We got Dr. Stedman. I don't know. Do we have any more of the faculty here tonight? I know there's Dr. Caton. She's got a group this summer. Looking around and see if I see him. Dr. Caton, you have any words of wisdom? I think she tried to click in, but I don't think it worked. All right. Well, you know, we always thank you for joining us at Gardner Webb. We appreciate you. You know, this has been a good thing for working adults to have programs that fit your schedule. We know it's a lot of work, but we try to make it work out for you, and we're interested in you getting jobs and how you're doing. And I'm not blowing smoke. I had a great group this spring. I normally have good groups. I already can see the group that I'm going to have this summer is going to be great as well. We're appreciative of that. Our program success is not based on the folks who work in it. It's our candidates. It's you, and we're appreciative of that. You know, you make it easy. You make it easy to work with you, and I appreciate that. I really do. All right, I will see my class tomorrow night and Wednesday night, and then I will see all of you again on Thursday. What's that? Thursday, July 24th. I'll see all of you again at 7 o'clock. You'll have class first half of that hour, and then the second half you'll be with me, and we'll catch up on all this stuff and more questions. You know, you can email me if you got questions. You can email Dr. Stone. You know, there's no secrets in the MSA program. If we know it, you know it. That's the way administration's supposed to be. We try to practice what we preach. All right, it's supper time. We better stop. It's about time to eat dinner. It's good to see you all, and I'm thankful for you, and we appreciate you business at Gardner Webb. I will see you all soon. Have a good evening. I'll post the video. Thanks, everybody.